Hello and welcome to the Power Circuit, a program brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, where we spotlight key milestones and scorecards within the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI. I'm your anchor, Amara Agugesi, and here are today's headlines. In Enugu State, TCN extends an anti-vandalism awareness campaign across 7 communities. Coming up in our interview segment, we'll be discussing the Lagos-Ogun power transmission projects. Joining us to provide expert insights is engineer Dr. Vincent Chukwu, Assistant General Manager and Project Manager of the Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA Project Implementation Unit at TCN. Stay with us for more. As part of its ongoing efforts to raise awareness about the dangers and consequences of vandalizing power transmission infrastructure, the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) has taken its sensitization campaign to 7 communities around Abogugu and Ihe towns in the Enugu West Senatorial Zone of Enugu State. Here is the full report.
The General Manager, Transmission, Enugu Region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN), Dr. Thomas Inugonum, led a team of the management staff on a sensitization visit to 7 communities in Abogugu and Ihe towns, located in Enugu West Senatorial Zone. In Abogugu, the team visited Akanwu, Eziama, Obum, Ubodakpo communities. In Ihe, the campaign reached Enugu-Oke, Enugu-Ato, and Enugu-Echi. During the visit, Dr. Inugonum addressed the leadership of Abogugu town, outlining the objectives of the campaign, which include raising awareness about the dangers of vandalizing power transmission infrastructure and encouraging community participation in safeguarding national assets.
Why we are here today is because of the infrastructure that the government has given to us. Transmission is purely on its own as a government entity. Distribution is on its own.
Dr. Inugonum, while addressing the leadership of Akanwu Autonomous Community, placed much emphasis on the need for youths in each community to fight against vandalism.
You received us warmly, and I must say that I'm impressed. Unfortunately, we have not seen light here, just like in the other place we went. So it's a recurring decimal. A little discussion with you on how you will help us using your youths to help us, and your vigilante group to equally help us secure our transmission lines that traverse your community.
While appealing to the youth to protect power facility, he noted that vandalizing power lines disrupts the flow of businesses. There are also dangers associated with encroachment on transmission lines right-of-way, which include electrocution, fire hazards, and structural collapses, which may lead to death and loss of property.
This particular line, we find out that there will be a lot of disturbances, distortion in our daily affairs. People who are using the line to grind, to do cold route, to do barbings and other things will not have that light. So we want to create the awareness that they should stop vandalizing government infrastructure. In fact, that is one of the reasons why we came with the civil defense people, because the government mandated them to be the one to take care, to look after their infrastructure. There is a lot to gain if the transmission lines are intact. It will help develop the communities along the right-of-way. You may not, there are a lot of industries that we have folded will come back, because with lights, with power, you can do so many things. So, sir, that's why we're here today, to seek your support, to seek your assistance.
At Obom Autonomous Community, the GMT explained that his team were there to enlighten the community on issues of illegal structures on TCN right-of-ways, trading, or living under TCN 330 and 132 kV tower base, excavation activities near or under transmission towers, and burning of waste materials around the tower base.
To the local government, for the community heads, for the community youths, I've pleaded with them to assist us.
At Eziama Autonomous Community, Dr. Enugonu recounted the gains of a previous sensitization exercise in Benue State, which has created a conscious security awareness of the community in Benue as they have been arresting vandals. Those arrested have been transferred to the Federal Government Committee on Task Force Against Vandalism in Abuja,
so that they can help us monitor these transmission lines. If you have vigilante groups, they will equally help us monitor the transmission lines. It is a federal government infrastructure that was ceded to the civil defense people to manage and to guide.
The TCN official and his team also visited Ihe community, where he preached the message of collaboration to stamp out the vandalism and encroachment of power transmission infrastructures.
Why we're here is to see how you can support us by what the PG is doing, to support him, to allow the youths reason with us, to help us secure, monitor the transmission lines that traverse through Ihe as a community. We've told us that there are 3 sub-communities that makes up Ihe. 3 communities. And so we believe that the moment we hold the PG General for that community, we're home and dry.
The traditional rulers of the communities declared their support for the campaign and promised to continue playing their roles in protecting power installations. Among the traditional rulers who spoke is the community head of Akanwu Autonomous Community, Igwe Matthias Onora, who promised to support in protecting TCN power transmission line. Also speaking for Obom Autonomous Community, Igwe Sunday Oji promised to instruct their vigilante groups to monitor the infrastructure passing through their town. The President General of Ihe Community, Igwe Martins Ibeziako, also pledged his support for TCN. The General Manager, Transmission at Enugu Region of TCN, Dr. Thomas Inugonu, further addressed members of the press at the end of the community sensitization exercise.
It's about sensitization and creation of awareness over our transmission line vandalization, which has remained a recurrent decimal. So we deem it fit to come and see these communities, to tell them, to equally appreciate them for the ones they caught that we have prosecuted, and to equally ask them to do more, that it is not a personal infrastructure. The infrastructure is for everybody. The government installed it in order to serve everyone, to give us light. And there is need for this transmission line to be protected. So that's why we're here today. We have gone to 7 communities, 4 at Abuogugu and 3 in Ihe. Autonomous communities, making it 7, like you said, in our local government. But still, we need their vigilantes, we need their youths to help us go through this line route once in a while and call us at any emergency, so that we only told them to report to the civil defense, because it is the civil defense that was given or saddled with the responsibility to guard federal government infrastructures.
The interview segment comes up right after this break. Please stay with us.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmits bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, distribution load centers of distribution companies, DISCOs, nationwide. At TCN, we transport bulk electricity at very high voltage to DISCOs, who now off-take it and distributes it directly to electricity customers nationwide. TCN does not generate electricity. We transport the quantum of power generated to distribution load centers. TCN does not distribute electricity directly to electricity consumers. Our job stops where that of the DISCOs begin. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Welcome to the interview segment of the Power Circuits. Today we are joined by Engineer Dr. Vincent Chukwu, Assistant General Manager and Project Manager of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA Project Implementation Unit at the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. In this discussion, we'll take a closer look at the transformative projects being funded by JICA and implemented through the PIU at TCN, particularly those focused on strengthening power transmission infrastructure around the Lagos hub. Stay with us as we explore the scope, impacts, and progress of these strategic initiatives. What are the projects being executed under the JICA PIU at TCN?
Well, my unit is Japanese International Cooperation Agency Project Implementation Unit. So in short, we call it JICA PIU. So that is the office I head, and the name of the project we have is Lagos Ogun Transmission System Improvement Project, and a grant project in Lagos. We call it emergency rehabilitation and improvement of GIS substation, Apapa Road TS in Lagos. So these are the two projects under this unit. Well, JICA project is a very laudable project, and I think we need to understand the project objective before we begin to talk about the project scope. So basically, this project was conceived to do what? To do a kind of social economic development of the country. It tends to enhance the transmission grid wheeling capacity within Ogun State and Lagos State. And it's a kind of project that was conceived with consideration of the most promising and viable location in the country, and what they want to do is to improve the transmission line and the substation facilities, thereby distributing the economic and social development of the federal government. That is basically the objective.
You mentioned the projects under the JICA PIU. Can you speak more about the scope of the projects?
JICA has 4 packages. We have a transmission line scope and we have a substation scope, which we have splitted under 4 packages. For the first package is talking about the transmission line, and the scope is that we are bringing in a 210 kilometer transmission line. That is for the transmission side. Then for package 2, 3, 4, these are the substation projects, and this substation project will bring in 4 brand new 330 kV substation and 2 132 kV substation, and each of these substations have their own scope. Like for example, we have a proposed substation, because we have not constructed, that's why I'm using the language proposed. Likosi is one of them. It's 2x300 plus 2x100 MVA substation. We have a Ablogba, which we, for clarity's sake, is Redeem. This is a 2x60 MVA substation. We have AGO, which is a 2x150 substation. We have one we are locating at Makoji, that is for clarity within MFM, Mountain of Fire Ministry, close to that complex. Then we have Jegule, we have Badagry. So Ajegule, Ejio, Likosi, these are 330 kV substation, while Badagry and Redeem are 132 kV substation. So this is a summary of the scope of what the project is coming about. What they will add to our grid, on the 132 kV side, we will be bringing in 800 MVA, which if you run it in megawatts, is like close to 640 megawatts by a power factor of 80%, because we don't load up all our equipment 100%. Then on the 132 side, on the 330 kV side, we'll be bringing in a 1,500 MVA capacity of power, which is in megawatt terms is 1,200 megawatts to the grid.
What impacts should Nigerians expect from these projects when they are delivered?
JICA project will contribute growth economically, job creation, and it will sync well with the current dispensation of the government of renewed hope agenda. So with that, it will create economic growth and job creation. That is basically what the JICA project is bringing to the power industry. JICA project has not commenced as per pure implementation, but we are at the verge of the highest point on the procurement stage of bidding. So hopefully we will be bidding maximum of September. We should be having these projects advertised for prospective bidders to come in and bid, so that we can award this contract to the successful bidder as to become our contractor. So this project basically, from the time of award, will be between 2 to 3 years, maximum 3 years to complete. So we are looking at completion of this project, if we are to advertise and award this contract, we are looking at a 2028-29 period to complete this project, because it's this project is located in a position where it's a low hanging place. We have transmission line running through where the project is. So what we needed to do is just to cut in, like what they say in the technical language, is a turn-in turn-out arrangement. So we don't need to begin to look forward for more issue of getting a clearance to do the line arrangement. So we don't have major encumbrances now as per some of these location of these substations.
As a project manager, are there encumbrances towards the delivery of the projects under the JICA PIU?
The project will go on seamlessly if awarded. Then the no aspect is that we have not completely compensated all the PAPs. What I mean PAPs, I mean project affected persons. But with the help of this present government, the ministry, and TCN management, they are making all effort, frantic effort, to see that monies are released to compensate the PAPs who will be affected by the location and siting of this project within this project. So the ministry and the MD of TCN and the other strong participants in the chain, they are making effort to see that monies are released as quickly as possible before we award this contract, to clear off the PAPs that will be affected. However, this will not affect the project implementation, because the PAPs are still Nigerians, and they have also buy into the need for this project location, and they know the need, and they know what they will stand to gain if this project kicks off. So they will not in totality affect us from implementing this project. So the project will sell seamlessly.
What motivates you to give your best in the delivery of power transmission projects?
I urge the government to set up a deliberate plan, policy, and as well carry out intensive orientation. Thank God we have an agency that does this. So we need to go to the villages, we need to go to media, we need to tell people the need on the structure why these things should not be destroyed. That once they are destroyed, they are destroying the future of themselves, their children, and other part of Nigeria. Because once these things are not streamlined and not taken care of, TCN will not be able to wheel power down to where it's needed. And at the same time, revenue will drop, a lot of things will drop, and people will be in dire need of a lot of things, and suffering will increase. So once the government come up with a policy, which I know they are working around to get it solved, these things will come and become a thing of the past to us.
Do you have any message for Nigerians regarding the Lagos-Ogun transmission projects?
A study was conducted by the Japanese, and that is why this project was cited there, and that is why the name of this project is Lagos-Ogun Transmission System Improvement Project. Not that these are the only two states in the country, no. I think they want to use this as a pilot to see how they can move towards the other part of the country. My advice to the country is this project will enhance economic growth, and once economic growth is enhanced, you will see that employment level will come up stream, where you will see people having things to do, and that will destroy the issue of youth restiveness, and that will destroy the issue of vandalization. So this project, as we know, will come up and solve some of these issues and prevent insecurity around the country at large.
What motivates you to give your best in the delivery of power transmission projects?
I have this strong drive to see that some of these projects are fulfilled. However, our country, power-wise, has not been tapped. So I am having a drive to see that some of these projects that will relieve this country economically is being fulfilled during my time. So I have a strong passion to see that this project and some other project is closed perfectly, so that Nigeria will become an industrial hub in Africa and the world at large. So that is my driving force.
That's great news. Together, we must continue to support the Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN in delivering the transformative projects under the Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA Project Implementation Unit. Be sure to stay tuned to the Power Circuit for insightful and informative updates on Nigeria's power transmission system. Here is a quick recap of today's highlights. In Enugu State, TCN extended its anti-vandalism awareness campaign to 7 communities, promoting the protection of critical power infrastructure. In our interview segment, we explored the Lagos-Ogun power transmission projects. Engineer Dr. Vincent Chukwu, Assistant General Manager and Project Manager of the JICA PIU at TCN, shared insights into the upcoming initiatives and their expected impact on power delivery in the region. The Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN appreciates your continued interest in the power circuit, a platform designed to deepen your understanding of Nigeria's power sector. We urge you to remain vigilant against vandalism of power transmission lines, towers, and substations in your area. If you notice any suspicious activity, kindly report it to TCN officials or the nearest security agency. Thank you for staying with us. I am Amara Agugesi, your uncle. Until next time, please stay informed.